Hi ladies and gents, it's Jimmy here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from what I usually do. Those who follow the channel know that I tend to do live races with commentary, but today no will, so we can't be doing that unfortunately. Instead I'm going to go over a little kind of question that's been in my mind and has been posed to me a couple of times by friends and commenters, etc. And that is about the use of a gamepad, such as, let's just say, like a 360 controller or a PS3 controller, versus a steering wheel in terms of realism, control, and just general immersion within the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a couple of laps with the gamepad, go over a couple of points that I've kind of prepared, and kind of answer the question the best that I can. So let's get in the car. So before I get in the car, sorry, I'm going to show you my setup, what I've done. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because it's a bit too much. Basically, with the controller, the first point that comes to mind really is that you have kind of insta steering lock when you turn left and right. Now, obviously, you can kind of mediate how much you turn left and right because you have analog sticks and they go a certain way before hitting, their edge. But when you're driving quickly and you're not panicking as such, but when you're making quick adjustments to your steering, it's very possible to do that quickly. And as you see, if you do this very quickly, the wheel just goes nuts, and you can imagine what this does to your front wheels and your steering and the general stability of the car. So a bit of a negative there, but that's the first point I really want to bring over. Second one, I guess I should bring up while I'm here as well, is this. I need to put this on, is auto clutch. Basically because you can't really use a clutch with a gamepad. I mean, you can, let's say, apply it to one of the triggers if you were using a PS3 or Xbox controller, and maybe let it out as you come in. But it's not really going to work, to be honest. Like I think that I've tried a couple of practice starts of a clutch, and it's just not fast. It's you're on the danger of just bogging down, and generally you don't really use a clutch anyway. For this game, for iRacing in particular, because there's not really any kind of stall function, but it's still, it's still not a decent thing to go through. Anyway, guys, I'm sure we will be talking now, so let's get out there and do a bit of testing, shall we? As you can see, I am running offline. I wouldn't dare go online with this. I don't trust myself enough yet. As you might notice, we're in the Corvette again at Silverstone. This is where I did my very recent 2-hour VOR race. The reason I picked this track is I know what a decent time is around here, and I want to see how close I can get to it. Oh, you can see already just getting a bit much on the brakes there. But it actually brings me to my next point about the pad, is that you can't have, there's no left foot braking in this. You can't have your kind of foot hovering over the brake pedal while you're coming over a corner. You can't, while you're going for, let's say, a complex, you can't have your left foot there and ready to apply some brake. It's the same with turning in as well. It's a lot more difficult to, there you go, slow down for a start and get that car turned in. You happen to rely on the car just slowing itself down. You can brake somewhat into the corner, but it's a big risk you'll put too much in and then end up spinning the car, which is very easy to do with the pad. Let's just try. You have to be very progressive with the controls here, and whilst I'm used to that with my feet, with the wheel, I'm not so good at it with the old thumb and the fingers, unfortunately. Now I have played. I did play a lot of Gran Turismo 4 and 5 and 3, I should say, well, all of them really, and I'm very used to being progressive with the analog sticks, but for a game like iRacing, it just doesn't cut it. You haven't got the same kind of control and same kind of pace. I mean, you can't be competitive, is what I'm saying. I mean, I've already run a lap round here just to see what kind of time I could do. I ran it off camera because I didn't want to distract myself by talking over it. I managed a 1:47.8, which isn't a terrible time around here, considering that my quickest race lap with the same sort of fuel as I go wide. My same sort of fuel was I think it's a 1:55.3, so about 2.5 seconds off. Over the course of the race, that's going to add up, but over a single lap, it wasn't too bad considering the vast change in controls. You can see the amount of kind of steering I'm having to put into this car, and it's not necessarily me choosing to put that steering into the car. It's just the way the controls are. You can't physically put just a little bit in to the left and to the right. You have to put a big amount in. There are always big sudden movements as well, and you know, it's not good for keeping a car in check. Adding on to that, there is no obviously force feedback with a pad. Some pads do have vibration in it. I think a lot of the Xbox controllers do. This PS3 controller doesn't, one of the older ones. But even so, there's no sort of immersion. You don't know when the car's going to break loose. You can feel a lot from the force feedback on the car. You can feel when the back's about to go around. You can feel when you're understeering. In this, you have to kind of just guess it all from what you're seeing on the screen. There's no feel at all from the controller, apart from vibration, if you have it. So really, it is a very big difference. Now, the 147.8 I did was the best I've ever done around here with a pad. I did do a bit of practicing around here before I did that lap just to see how it was, and the 147.8 was vastly better than any of the other ones. This is a more realistic lap, to be honest. So let's see what this comes in at. Okay, I wasn't going 100% with the pad here, but you know, you get a rough idea. So 150.4. That's running actually a bit slower than I ran in the VOR race with damage, with a suspension damage and braking damage there. So you know, it just goes to show the difference, really. Let's pull over the side of the road, and I've had enough of this. I don't like driving the pad either, it's just too twitchy. Obviously, with it being twitchy, you just aren't really that safe for everyone else on the track. If you're racing door to door, which often happens in this game, then you can end up very, very easily just touching someone and you know, ruining both your races. I mean, in things like Gran Turismo 4 and Gran Turismo 5, it doesn't matter so much because the bouncy car physics. But in this, you catch someone, you're going to get catapulted into a wall, you're going to come back into the pits with your wheel above your rear wing, and that'll be it. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's safe to race with. The only good point I can think about a pad is that it's cheap and doesn't really take up much space compared to the wheel. Just looking online quickly before I did this video, the G27 goes for £220 or so, plus or minus, it depends where you buy it from. Gamepad for a PS3, especially one of these old ones, you know, about 15-20 quid, and this is wireless as well, pretty much, so you can collect that with Bluetooth if you wanted to, but I haven't got that on my PC, so I've just got it on my got it wired up here. Those wondering how I've done that, it's just a bit of a program called a DS3 tool, which just basically fools your computer into thinking your PS3 controls and Xbox controller, and it all works fine. Okay, so positives then at the end of that. It's cheap compared to the wheel. It's about £200 difference between the two, and it doesn't take that much space. It's this little gamepad, stick it in your desk. Pretty much you can lose it half the time. Negatives do far outweigh the positives, I'm afraid. No force feedback or any kind of immersion at all in the game. Pretty much instant steering lock if you're not careful. No left foot braking or brake dragging, which is, you know, pretty important in some cornering scenarios. Difficult clutch operation, so basically means that it's just impossible to use a clutch in any kind of helpful way at all, and it's just not safe for driving with. If you take this pad out with someone and you're in an oval race and you make a tiny little mistake or movement, you could end up taking, you know, yourself, someone else, and others out the race. So on that note, I'm going to have to say that I disapprove of using the pad for iRacing, and wouldn't personally use it, and hope that you wouldn't either. So on that note, guys, that's all I want to say for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time.